I'll go ahead and open this agenda for November 20th, 2013, Oceanside City Council, Harbor District, CDC. Roll call, please.
Mayor Wood?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Kern?
Here.
Councilmember Feller? Here. Councilmember Feline?
Here.
Councilmember Sanchez is absent.
Thank you. City Attorney, please.
Thank you. The council meeting to discuss item 1 on the agenda, conference with labor negotiator involving the Oceanside Police Officers Association and the Oceanside Police Management Association. Item 2A on the agenda, initiation of litigation by the city in the matter of one case will be continued to the next council meeting. Item 2B, conference of legal counsel on anticipated litigation, one case. We will hear that today.
Thank you. Adjourn to closed session. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first part of our City Council meeting. We'll take a break probably around 5 o'clock and get to the second half for some presentations and awards and move on from there. First off, I'll ask for a roll call.
Mayor Wood?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Kern?
Here.
Councilmember Sanchez?
Here.
Councilmember Feline? Here. Councilmember Feller?
Here. With that, I will do one announcement also. If you have a phone or pager that's noisy, put it on vibrate. We'd certainly appreciate that. The other thing I want to mention is we have now, back for the first time, a old new city manager, Mr. Jepson. Sir, welcome back, and thank you. With that, the consent calendar, please.
Consent calendar items 3 through 9. Item number 10 has been pulled from the agenda.
Second. Thank you. Public or anybody else?
No public on these items.
Thank you. Go ahead and vote, please.
Ms. Sanchez? Thank you. Motion approved 5-0.
And the item that you have,
Pardon?
was there an item pulled?
Oh, item number 10 was removed from the agenda.
Oh, removed completely?
Removed, yes, and
Okay,
it will
so I
be
want-
heard on December 4th.
Not just to vote on later, but it's removed.
Correct,
Okay,
it's been
thank you
removed
very much.
until December 4th.
With that, we go with item 11, please.
Item number 11 is acceptance of petitions submitted by hotels within the city to renew the tourism marketing district, certification that there are sufficient petitions from lodging businesses which will pay more than 50% of the assessment, and adoption of a resolution of intention to renew the Oceanside Tourism Marketing District for a 10-year period beginning on April 1st, 2015 through March 31st, 2025.
Thank you. With that, hey, Tracy, good afternoon.
Good evening. Mayor, council members, Tracy Bolin, Economic Development Manager. I'm here tonight to discuss the renewal of the Tourism Marketing District, or TMD, for Oceanside. Oops, it's not up on the screen. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So for the TMD to be renewed, more than 50% of the hotels and vacation rentals in the city of Oceanside that pay transient occupancy tax, or TOT, need to petition the city to renew the district. The petitions received by the City Council today represent 84% of the hotels and vacation rentals that paid TOT in fiscal year 2012-13, which was verified by the Finance Department. Tonight, City Council is being asked to accept the petitions and adopt a resolution of intention to renew the district. I'm going to start with a little bit of background about Tourism Marketing District, what it is. The state of California allows the creation of a special district within the boundaries of the whole city of Oceanside to create a hotel marketing area. The city must be petitioned by the industry to create this district. The city was first petitioned in 2009, and the first Oceanside TMD was established in April 2010 for a 5-year period, which will end on March of 15. The current TMD assesses hotels with more than 30 rooms and all vacation rentals. Currently, the industry pays a 1.5% fee at the same time and in the same manner as the TOT is paid to the city. The city passes the TMD funding to the Visit Oceanside Group, which is a tourism marketing organization that is run by the hotel and vacation rental industry. The city receives a $10,000 annual fee for administering the program. The renewal process for a district consists of 3 city council meetings. Tonight we have the resolution of intention to renew the TMD. And tomorrow, as part of this process, a summary of the management district plan will be mailed to about 500 hotels and vacation rentals that paid TOT in fiscal year 2012-13. The hotels and vacation rentals will have until February 19th to protest the renewal of the TMD to City Council, at which time the renewal will occur if a majority protest is not heard. The TMD renewal has a few changes from the original. The first, the industry self-assesses at the 1.5% rate. That will not change. However, it will include all hotels and vacation rentals that currently pay TOT. And the term of the renewal will be for a 10-year period starting April 1st, 2015 and going until March 31st, 2025. The administrative fee has also been changed from a flat $10,000 fee to a percentage rate of 1.6%, which will at least equal or be more than the $10,000 that is currently received. The funds from this tourism marketing district will be used to market Oceanside as a tourist destination. The specific activities that Visit Oceanside will undertake as part of the marketing plan are outlined in the management district plan that are part of the staff report presented tonight and also will be available in the city clerk's office for review. Tonight, staff is recommending that City Council accept the petitions equaling 84% of the TOT rate payers in Oceanside and adopt the resolution of intention to renew the Tourism Marketing District. Leslie Gall, CEO of the Visit Oceanside, and Civitas, Verna with Civitas, the consultant hired to assist with the renewal process, are in the audience to answer any questions as well as myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Have a seat at the sidebar, and we'll go public.
No public on this item.
No.
One member of the public wishes to speak on this item. Larry Berry may come forward this time.
Larry?
Yeah, my name is Larry Berry. I live on 3973 Brown Street in the city of Oceanside. You know, this kind of coincides with a lot of things I want to talk about today is tourism in Oceanside. And, oh, hi, Steve. What's going on here? But one of the things, a lot of bad press, we just had a murder, gang violence in the city of Oceanside here. And when we asked for tourists to come to Oceanside, and I travel around all over the state, and I travel outside the state with my business and stuff, and I'm always amazed that people who look at Oceanside, they always hear negative things. And I think that it's incumbent of our city council, our police department, and more important, the citizens of Oceanside, that we squeeze out these gangs and stuff like that. There's nothing worse than hearing bad press from gang violence in our city. So when we ask people to come here and spend their hard-earned money, whether they come from Utah, Arizona, and other places in the county, we're going to ask them to pay more money for us to spend here. I think we should give them a safe environment, and there should be less bad press. And that's one of the things I want to talk about. I'm really upset about the gang. 2 years ago, I know Jim Wood and Frank McCoy were going around telling everybody, crime is the lowest it's been in 30 years and taking a path. Now, what has happened in the last year or two is we've had 8 murders in Oceanside, and most of those murders were kids under the age of 20 years old. So let's clean up our house so that we can attract people and they feel safe when they come here, and they don't have to listen to, that Oceanside's a bad place. Thank you very much.
No further public at this time.
Thank you very much. With that, Councilmember Kern.
Thank you. Just quickly, Leslie, can you come on down? Because it kind of addressed what Mr. Berry said about bad press. He doesn't get the releases that we get from you about all the good press we get in places outside of Oceanside, like in the papers in Arizona and things like that. So I mean, this is kind of what this marketing district does, is market Oceanside and generates good press.
You got the mic on?
Mic on?
Oh.
I'd love to hear you.
Okay, yeah, I would like the opportunity to comment on that. Since the district was formed, we have generated over $1.1 million in positive press for the city of Oceanside, and I'm really, really proud of that. And that is free press that we've generated. And if you look at what the visitor comments and what they're saying when they come here, it's very positive. They don't know. Sometimes I think in Oceanside we have we're our own worst enemy. They have very positive things to say about us. I encourage you to read our records on that. But I am proud of that positive press that we have generated that would not have generated if it wasn't the existence for Visit Oceanside.
Thank you. Mr. Berry, you're absolutely right about the problem. But the idea is that we're here, and we have a lot of good press too, and a lot of things. People that live here, we see all the warts, we see all the problems on the day-to-day. But the visitors that come in, they do see the positive, and they see the pier, and they see the hotels. And my experience has been talking to visitors at certain locations. It's been very positive. So, and this is what we're here for tonight, is to collect that money to generate that press and to bring more visitors in, and to have that positive image of Oceanside. So with that, I'm going to move that we accept petitions requesting renewal of the Tourism Marketing District, certify the results of petitions, and the approval of the resolution of intent to renew the tourism marketing district.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, thank you. With that, Councilmember Sanchez, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is something that came up, this is the first renewal, right? Yeah. This is something that came up at a time when we were talking about ways in getting revenue to the city, to the general fund. And one of the things that we had talked about was increasing the TOT tax. And so this came at the same time that we were having those discussions. And so we, as a council, decided that this looked like a good plan, that we understood that instead of seeing the 1.5 increase in TOT to the general fund would go to this very specific district. And it has been a good investment. I think there's a whole lot of really wonderful activities that are going on. I understand that we're going to be getting is it Iron Girl?
Very possibly in December 2014, an Iron Girl.
Yeah, we're becoming a sports mecca here, believe it or not. Little old Oceanside is showing everybody what we can do. I've had the privilege of getting to meet some of the folks that are coming out and getting to know Oceanside and saying, hey, you know what, the weather's great here, and never thought that this would be a great place for an activity like this. So I think it's been wonderful, wonderful investment for the city of Oceanside. I do think that it does come back to us tenfold. So in a way that it's, even though we're not getting the funds through funds into the general fund to, say, for other programs, this indeed would be the one that is the one that's really helping us to make Oceanside a better Oceanside. So thank you very much, and I'm supporting the motion.
Councilmember Feller, please.
Thank you. It might be a good thing for the newspaper to get a hold of some of your emails, because I think I've only had like 4 today from you about the good things happening. So, if we can get some more outreach to the general community so that they understand what a great tool this is. And so Iron Girl. Okay, so here's our challenge, Esther. You do Iron Girl, I'll do Iron Man.
Hey, all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, thanks.
My question.
What year?
Well, maybe let's get them off the ground next year, and then.
Yeah, let's get them here first.
My point, Leslie, is I have a crowd behind you that's part here supporting you. Could you have them stand up, please?
Yes, thank you, sir. I would like to have my board of directors stand up that are present tonight. I couldn't do that without the board and the staff.
Well, we want to see them on TV and make sure that they're recognized around the community for doing wonderful things, and I thank you very much. We also notice that we do have the police department involved with your group, and Captain Agigi, and you are involved for what Mr. Berry talked about. Yes, we are worried and concerned about some of these issues, and we have somebody assigned from the police department with your group to try to address those concerns. But thank you very much. With that, please vote.
Motion approved 5-0.
Thank you very much. I'm going to jump ahead to the next and go to 22.
Item number 22.
I got it, Zach.
That's the attorney.
sorry.
Item 22 is the adoption of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Oceanside amending Articles 4A and 12 of the Downtown Zoning Ordinance, RZA 12-00001, revision incorporating suggested modifications as proposed by the California Coastal Commission.
Thank you. Public on this?
No public on this item.
Back to council. Councilman Sanchez.
I move adoption.
Second.
Second. No comments to council. Please vote.
Motion approved 5-0.
Thank you. 23, please.
Item 23 is the adoption of an ordinance of the City of Oceanside amending Oceanside City Code Chapter 29 establishing sewer user rate increases.
Thank you.
No public on this item.
Back to Councilman Kern.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion approved, 4-1, Sanchez, no.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go back to item 12 through 16, please.
Item 12 through 16, Mayor Jim Wood.
Just 1 second, and I'll be right with you. Normally we do these at the end, but now you're lucky enough to get them now. I certainly want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving in the city and the surrounding areas. And remember to move your feet before you eat. Something that we thought would never happen in Oceanside, that means the annual Oceanside Turkey Trot that happens on Thursday, November the 28th in the morning. Great way to open your appetite for that day. It started off small. Now it's probably 10,000 walkers and running that morning. Very, very popular. And so if you got the time, dress up, be down there, a great turnout, and you'll be right down here in Oceanside on Main Street. And that'll be an important thing. Mark your calendars for the annual Hanukkah memorial. It's lighting at City Hall on Wednesday, November the 27th at 5:30 p.m. That's right out front here. And always a great treat and party afterwards. Our annual Christmas tree lighting event will happen on Thursday, December the 5th at 6 p.m. in front of the Regal Theater. That's usually a great turnout. A lot of people, usually some dignitaries there from around the area, and I think it's a great event. Also, I wish to wish a happy 72nd anniversary to the Civil Air Patrol in our area. That's pretty amazing. 72nd annual anniversary for Civil Air Patrol. That's a lot of time, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I have. I'll move on. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. So on that item, I want to go back to the city attorney, and please.
Thank you. Actually, back to item 23, we had 2 ordinances on the agenda, both one for water and one for sewer. We only did the adoption with regard to the sewer, so if I could...
I'll move adoption of the one for water. Or
I'll go ahead and title it, if that's okay.
Please.
Okay. So this is item 23. The second ordinance is an ordinance of the City of Oceanside amending Oceanside City Code, Chapter 37, establishing water user rates and external water provider charge increases.
Move adoption.
A second. Comments from the public? I'm assuming
No public on this item.
With that, back to the council, please vote.
Voting Ms. Sanchez. Motion approved, 4-1, Sanchez, no.
Thank you. And with that, next on the council reports.
Deputy Mayor Kern.
Thank you. Actually, last weekend was Friends of the Library book sale. They did extremely well, but I still had to carry a lot of books. We're going to have a new one, another one in February. We need people to come out and buy more books so that it's less books for me to carry. So I'd really encourage everybody to come out and buy books then. Also, the holiday home tour for the Friends of the Library is December 15th. You get to see some really nice houses in Oceanside. It's hosted by the Friends of the Oceanside Public Library, and you can buy tickets at the library for that tour. Yesterday we attended, the mayor and I attended the dedications of the pumps at our RO plant, our reverse osmosis plant out in the valley, to pump water out of our aquifer. So it's really important that we start generating our own water supply. We just got notification from the state Department of Water Resources that the contractors, the water contractor, state of California's allocation is going to be 5% this year. So it's going to be really dire. We have a new city manager who's come down from Yuba City. We should have him brought down a water truck with him. So the idea is to do that. I attended a water reuse conference last week in Newport Beach about how we can actually reuse and reclaim and recycle water more effectively and more efficiently. I think that is going to be the way that we're going to have to get through the future. There was people there from Australia, Brazil. The desert southwest of the United States is very heavily represented because even though as bad as we have it, there's places that are worse than us about water, especially in West Texas, who's been going through probably 10 years of drought now. So they're really going to have to work out how they're going to reclaim their water. We attended the Veterans Ceremony at the Veterans Association of North County. It was a nice event. The building's coming together nicely. So I think probably within the year, hopefully, that they'll be up and fully operational there. And then we all attended the groundbreaking of El Corzo. So that's going to be one of the 22 soccer fields. We were there last week. And so that is hopefully going to come online about July. We'll keep our fingers crossed and to do that. And that's about it. Happy Thanksgiving.
Councilmember Feline.
Thank you. Certainly one of the happiest things we get to do as a city councilman is recognize accomplishments and achievements in our community, and I'd certainly like to take this opportunity to once again recognize the award winners for the North County Philanthropy Council's 2013 Volunteers of the Year Awards. And so Joan Perro of the Veterans Association of North County won as Volunteer of the Year. Kevin Stoltmeister from the Tri-City Hospital Foundation won as Volunteer of the Year. George Brown from the Oceanside Charitable Foundation won for Volunteer of the Year. Michelle Bray Davis from KOCT won as Volunteer of the Year. And Michael Klein, the Oceanside Boys and Girls Club, also won as Volunteer of the Year. And Colleen O'Hara was a recipient of the Robert, and I'm going to butcher this next name, Krigi Standards of Excellence Award. And so I'd like to have a shout out to all these wonderful members of our community who put in their time to make Oceanside a great city to live in. In terms of the events I've attended that haven't already been mentioned, had the distinct pleasure last night of attending Eagle Scout ceremony at the LDS Church on Mesa, where 4 Eagle Scouts were given their award. I think that's the first time I attended where we had 4 for the price of 1. So a great shout out to the wonderful work being done there. And then at Miracosta, they had a Veterans Memorial dedication on November 8th for a new memorial that the student body got together and designed and went through the board and had built. And so that's wonderful to see that take place at Miracosta. And that's it. Thank you.
Councilmember Feller.
Pardon me, thank you. The turkey trot will probably sell out at 10,000, as the mayor mentioned, but the price goes up today online. So if you're trying to get in for a little cheaper, tonight's the night, Steve. I went to the Marine Corps birthday celebration at Camp Pendleton. It was held in the base theater, and it was really a great celebration. I was pleased because it was up close, and you could see how the Marine Corps developed over the last 238 years. So I think quite a few of us were at the Vista Invitational Field Tournament for the bands, and I sat up there and watched parents working like just mad people, trying to support their children that were in the band, and they really go through a lot, and my hat goes off to anybody that has a child in band, because that's a hard-working parent there. The groundbreaking is a great thing for El Corazon and the new soccer fields. That's supposed to be operational by next year, which would be June 14th. I think they said they'd be probably operational. First tournament by the end of July. El Camino plays San Pasqual tomorrow night. Oceanside plays somebody. Probably will murder them. But that's Oceanside High School football. We have for a long time resident, Ruth Doobie, passed, and her celebration of life is Friday at, it's on 12/3. No, this Friday at the Elks Lodge, and I'm sure it's this Friday. Anyway, it's at the Elks Lodge, and she is a real old timer for the city, and I think we honor her. I had this passed on to me about Ida Bowditch from KOCT. Ida passed away on October 4th at the age of 93. She and her husband Bob founded KOCT in the nonprofit that has been providing community television in Oceanside for 30 years. The first editing and studio was in their Fire Mountain home. After Bob died, Ida established a college scholarship in his honor for media students. When she passed, she was living in a senior complex in nearby Vista. She was a great person with a positive personality, and if you met her, you really admired her. She will be missed. In honor of that tonight, I think if we can close the meeting in Ida's honor. And on the, do we have our meeting on the next meeting on the 4th? Is that correct? Well, the next day, Jane Cincerelli is retiring after about 80 years on the council, or as a city employee. So, not yet, but she is retiring. So I admire somebody that sticks with it for that long. Thank you.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Thank you. The City of Oceanside had an item before the Coastal Commission, so I attended the Coastal Commission to speak on behalf of our item. Our staff had already indicated that there was no opposition to the changes that were being proposed by coastal staff, which basically were to make it consistent with our local coastal plan and local land use plan. So our item was approved unanimously. Actually, we had two of them, one having to do with densities, and the other one having to do with signs. So the consistency has to do with, one of the major consistencies had to do with digital billboards in the coastal area, and currently we have a ban on that, so that was consistent. I also attended a student conference at Miracosta. It was truly wonderful. There were 300 students that came from Oceanside High and from El Camino and Ocean Shores, and there were mostly juniors and seniors, but there were also a few ninth graders. So it was kind of cool. I was asked to do some welcoming remarks, and the main speaker was Jimmy Figueroa, who is someone that works with us through the Vista Community Clinic REACH program in Libby Lake. He has really been a role model for many of our youth. I didn't know his whole story, and I have to say that this is a really, really wonderful young man. He pretty much said he did get sidetracked at a young age, did get involved with some of activity, street activity, but eventually when he started seeing some of his friends get incarcerated, perhaps even prison or even killed, he started to rethink his lifestyle and started to think, you know what, my mom's going to school, so hey, I can get my GED. Not only did he get his GED through Miracosta, he was able to get near straight A's out of Miracosta, ended up transferring to Berkeley, and pretty much got straight A's there. And he's now working with the kids out in Libby Lake and planning on going to law school. So talk about a role model. It's wonderful. There were also some volunteers, some of the kids volunteering, and they also are role models, but really great program that they had in there, and I think they're going to do this annually. I also got a chance to speak for a class at Palomar. I guess it's that season where they want to hear from city officials, especially, and I guess I'm the only Latina elected official. Well, actually, there are two of us in the North County. So that was really great to talk to some of their kids from all over. I think there was even somebody there from Oceanside. I did attend the Utilities Commission, actually the two commission meetings and a committee meeting. We did get updates on our water levels. We are, with respect to water year 2013, it is the second consecutive dry year in California and on the Colorado River Basin. Water year 2014 began October 1st, and the weather outlook is uncertain. However, the Metropolitan Water District is prepared to meet the 2014 demands without allocations due to storage reserves and continued low demands. We have had consistently lower demands for water, which speaks to our conservation efforts, so that's really, really great. We also got some materials regarding recycled water uses currently allowed in California, which will probably change in the next 5 years. There's at the state level, they're looking at regulations and you know, what would it take to have water clean enough from, say, you know, sewage water to tap water. So currently, recycled water uses are allowed for irrigation uses, for some cooling or air conditioning, groundwater recharge, and I'm really excited that the staff is going forward on a water master plan for the city, and they are going to be looking at you know, potential for, you know, not just now but for the future for recycled water. And where it would be the best fit. So kudos to staff and also to the commissioners for the Utilities Commission. And I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We're going to go with a closed session report from City Attorney.
Thank you. The council met in closed session at 2 to discuss the following items. Item 1 is conference with labor negotiator involving the Oceanside Police Officers Association and the Oceanside Police Management Association. There is no reportable action under the Brown Act on that item. Item 2A, initiation of litigation by the city involving one case. The council did not hear that matter. Item 2B, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision B of section 54956.9 involving one case. The council did meet and provided direction, but there's no reportable action under the Brown Act on that item.
Councilmember Feller?
Pardon me. I did have a question. If we could have an update on the mess out on North River Road.
Oh, right.
At this point. Does
Carrie?
anybody have
What's
any information on that? Carrie's gone. Mr. Wise?
I guess we'll have to wait. Do you have it, Peter?
Honorable Mayor, council members, actually Carrie went out there just now. She just gave me a brief update. They still have not yet determined the actual source of the problem, but they'll be working around the clock to get it resolved, and hopefully within the next few hours we'll have a more formal update for you.
Are people still out of water?
I believe there's 12.
Is the main highway North River shut down?
I believe they're allowing some traffic through there, but it's very limited. Local access is being provided.
Thank you, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a recess until 5 o'clock we can get some things done necessary. If you're here, have something to be signed for your school, come on up. I'll take care of them. Recess until 5 o'clock.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, what's wrong with you? He's no. I'm pretty confused. No.
Helps if I turn my mic on. One thing, if I could, housekeeping-wise, if you got a phone or a pager, could you put it on silent or vibrate? We'd appreciate that. This is the second half of the council meeting, and we usually do presentations of our awards. After that, we get right back into the meat of the issues for the night. But with the city clerk, what I'd like to start here is for proclamations. I'll start there, sir, and I'll go through Valerie for some presentations.
Yes, if at this time we could all stand to receive the invocation and also the Pledge of Allegiance for this evening. For the invocation tonight, our city clerk, Zach Beck, who is the youth pastor for Gateway Community Church, will be leading us.
Let us bow our heads. Father, we come here today grateful, thankful, and blessed to live in an incredible city. We come here with a unique background, diverse community, unique beliefs, and we come here today to gather and seek guidance, wisdom, and discernment to the deliberations that we have to go through while we construct and conduct the policies that are going to be made here this evening. We ask all these things. Amen.
Leading us this evening in the Pledge of Allegiance from the Soccer Club of Oceanside, we would call forward Tatiana Olivier. Destiny Modano. And Myra Herrera.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Make us look pretty, okay?
For our first presentation this evening, we will be honoring the generous volunteer work by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. From the Carlsbad Oceanside Stake, we invite President Stephen Pines to please come forward. Their Director of Public Affairs, Bonnie Packard. And the Assistant Director of Public Affairs over Community Outreach, Carol Ewan. Mayor's Excellence Award presented to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. On behalf of the City of Oceanside, I wish to thank you for your dedication to our community through your participation in numerous community volunteer activities, such as restoring our historic grave sites, annually participating in the Sun Project, and more. I commend you for living your faith through your generosity of helping others.
First, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this pledge and plaque because every year we have a thing called the Sun Project, where we go to some of the areas, communities that need a little help, go out and clean their yards, paint their house, put garage doors up once in a while or fences. And it's one of those when we leave, the neighbors and the people that receive this have a smile on their face or they're crying with all the pride, so proud that it happened to their neighborhood. Every single year, the Sun Project we do for some blighted neighborhood, let's say, or low income, every time we usually get between 800 and 1,000 people come out, do a couple of hours of work. Those 2 hours make a big difference in those neighborhoods. Every single time this group from Carlsbad and Oceanside comes out with at least half or larger than half, 400 or 500, 600 people from their churches, and they're the biggest part of every year's activity, cleaning up some neighborhoods and houses. And remember, those parents and those families that live in those houses get the places cleaned up, get to see the beautification of their neighborhood. It means a lot to them. Like I say, I've been there watching them cry and cry mainly from happiness, and I wanted to say thank you to both the churches and say, boy, are you part of the neighborhood and make things wonderful. That's from me to you along with the plaque, so I thank you. But I'm also going to pass the mic to you if you can say whatever you wish. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give these people a round of applause. They've really helped Oceanside.
Our members look so forward to this every year, and we're pleased that you have a service project that we can benefit you from, and it also benefits us greatly. Thank you.
It's really a privilege for us to have the opportunity to work with you and such great partners here in the city of Oceanside, which is a wonderfully diverse and wonderfully vibrant city. And so we are delighted to participate with you in these projects. Thank you.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've been remiss in not having them here sooner, but believe me, when I go out there 10 in the morning and there's 1,000 people painting houses and cleaning, it's an eye. You just can't help but get, the hair standing up in the back of your neck and say, these are wonderful people. Let's say it one more time for these people. Thank you very much.
For our next presentation this evening, we have the Mayor's Oceanside Business Member Spotlight. From the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce, we would like to call forward their Chairman of the Board, Don Reedy, at this time. Board Member Cece Haas, the CEO, David Nidegger, Membership Director, Elizabeth Harwood, and tonight's valued Oceanside resident is Yusette Limabas of the Oceanside Sea Lions Club.
Wow. I have the great honor and pleasure tonight of announcing this month's Member of the Month. As you know, every month we select somebody, and there's an awful lot of you out there, just like the group that we just saw that does so much. Suzette, I'll tell you a little bit about her. First of all, she's a great hugger. She loves to hug, and she's from the Philippines, where she got her nursing degree, and she's worked in the VA system for many, many years with her skills. She's lived in Texas and Illinois, and finally settled here in beautiful Oceanside. As you might suspect, she's actively involved in a whole host of activities. The Filipino American Association, she's president of the Sea Lions Club, and you know the good work that they do, the Kiwanis, and of course we're proudest of her because she works with us as a volunteer at the Chamber. You've probably seen her. If you haven't, then I don't think you've been to an event. She's an ambassador. She works on ribbon cuttings, and I think that, of course, she actually loves to babysit. I don't know if anybody need any help out there, but Jim, babysitting you? There at Queens and Princes.
He wants the queens and princesses to babysit them.
Oh, okay. And I think that she wrote a little thing here, and I'll just read the last one, which is that Suzette's thankful for God's blessings, and on behalf of the Chamber, we're thankful for her having blessed us as well. So.
Suzette, on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce and as the membership director, I just want to thank you for everything that you do for the Chamber, and I know that David or Elizabeth might too, but you are a definite asset to our organization and to the city of Oceanside. So thank you.
Nothing except that she really is a great hugger.
There you go.
And as an ambassador, Suzette comes to all of the ribbon cuttings and supports the Chamber and all the new members of the Chamber as well.
I've received many of those hugs, and she is good at it. Thank you very much. Love to see you at every event. You're always there. Thank you very much for everything from the city of Oceanside along with the Chamber. You are one of those stars that we all look towards and make everybody else happy. But I'm going to pass the mic to you now.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mayor, and the council members and all the staff. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce, to David Neidiger, Dan Brody, Cici Haas, and Elizabeth for the opportunity. I would like to encourage everyone to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce if you're not, because there's so much opportunity they can offer you for the businesses and also organizations. And I would like to thank again this opportunity. I would like to introduce my daughter-in-law there and my 2 grandchildren, the one I love to babysit. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you, Mayor Wood, also for being a part of this and having this be the Member of the Month and supporting us in that and recognizing it. We really appreciate you for that.
I want to mention also that we have the chief of police and the police captain here because of her. They're keeping an eye on her, and thank you, chief, and all your staff. I appreciate it. Can we get a nice picture now together? By the way, daughter-in-law, if you want to get up and move, take pictures other places, but we're going to take some here also.
Next, we have a proclamation for America Recycles Day in Oceanside. We'd like to call forward Colleen Foster, the city's waste and recycling analyst, and Jenna Roripaw, our environmental specialist. While the video is being shown, I will go ahead and read the proclamation. In honor of America Recycles Day, whereas the city of Oceanside is committed to reaching zero waste by 2020 and is already a national leader with an overall recycling rate of 72%. And whereas under the guidance of the city's zero waste strategic,
management plan, the city is actively implementing programs, policies, and incentives to promote waste reduction, reuse and recycling in an effort to achieve higher diversion rates beyond 75% towards the international standard of 90% to become a zero-waste community. And whereas the City of Oceanside is actively leading by example, and as a result in celebration of America Recycles Day, the city has challenged its own staff and leaders to reduce their waste stream at the Civic Center complex by minimum 20%, with the goal of reaching a 75% recycling rate by November 15th. And whereas November 1st, over 200 city staff members have demonstrated their commitment to recycling services at City Hall with the implementation of the Mini Bin Challenge. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Jim Wood, Mayor of the City of Oceanside, do hereby proclaim November 15th, 2013 as America Recycles Day in the City of Oceanside. I further wish to encourage all city staff members and our residents to do their part in making our world a better place to live.
Well, I'd like to say thank you to the mayor and the full city council and to city staff for really taking the lead. I did surprise them with these mini trash cans, waste cans, and I don't think most of the staff or council believed that I was going to steal their large waste cans until the next day. So it was really a wonderful experience. We got 100% participation at City Hall, and I hope that really encourages our community to take the lead, and the City of Oceanside supports our community as a zero-waste city. So I'd like to say thank you.
I think she said it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, they gave us these little teeny trash cans for waste, but all the other stuff that we can reclaim and recycle goes in the big one. So it forces you to do the proper thing, and you at home with waste management, putting out the 3 separate cans and the colors, going to make a big difference. But these two ladies are in every event, and everywhere we go we see them pushing this. It's a big deal to go to the 75% for reclaimed and recycle. I thank you for your hard work, but I think I even have a mini trash can in my office. Thank you. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you. Picture here. Boy, girl, boy, girl. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I give this back to you?
Now last but certainly not least, we have our final presentation of the Team of the Week. And from the Soccer Club of Oceanside, we are welcoming the Icebreakers. Their head coach, Thierry Olivier, assistant coach, Juan Valencia, and team manager, Martha Angelis Olivier. The team players that we have with us tonight: Tatiana Olivier, Destiny Modano, Myra Herrera, Elizabeth Valencia, Bianca Valencia, Crystal Hernandez, Tatiana Rossi, Anna O'Brien, Isis Stinnett, Mia Boches, Skylene Ayala, Jessica Hernandez, and Elizabeth Ramirez. Please give them a warm welcome.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I do this all the time, but one more time it's worthwhile. We have this for every council meeting to Team of the Week. It could be any team that's sport-minded, football, soccer, you name it, swimming. But right now, the soccer season, and I tell everybody, soccer, boys and girls soccer, or men and women's soccer, outnumber all the other sports combined. That's how popular it is, number one. Number two, this is how we can bring number one, the team that wears our name, Oceanside, on it. They play locally, county, state, sometimes nationally, depending on how far they go. So they represent our city, so this is our way to say thank you for doing that, making us popular throughout the communities around us, and to say thank you to the coaches, team moms, and everybody else for giving all your hours to it, because believe me, ladies and gentlemen, all your time and effort pays off in the long run, and I do appreciate it. So I'm going to pass the mic to this coach, but I also want to look down here and say, this is a pretty nice medal there. Wow, I'll let him explain that. Please, sir.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity. And I want to just say that I could not ask for a better team. We have a great team here, so please, big round of applause. Really good. They really did a great job, and there's a lot of talent, and I think the talent can move on to get even better and better. So thank you so much, Mayor, for the opportunity. It was wonderful.
Hear what this team did.
Do you want to say something?
Yes, we do. Here, come on, say something about the team and how they did and how they got medals.
The medals that the girls are wearing are actually, it's a tournament at the end of all the games that they have this season. They have this tournament for 3 days. And whoever wins the tournament gets the medal. And our team won the tournament. So yay!
Oh, I want to say thank you for your time, and this is coming big for the girls because it's make the difference. And I want to say thank you to the coach because he's very very good person. And thank you the parents for everything. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to the girls representing Oceanside and being the winners, and you always will be winners, and I thank you for what you do out there for us. I want to get a group photo. I think my ade's coming up. We might have to squeeze in a little bit for a photo shot, but I'll get in the backwards. A couple more steps backwards. Parents, you can move wherever you want to take these pictures, so it's important. Remember, it's live on TV, so you can get it from KOCT and reruns, whatever. Get your shots now. I actually do this for my own benefit. Later on, when one or more of these girls are famous, I'll have a photograph that said I knew them when. So that pays off for me. So that's all. Coach, let's hear it for these girls. Speakers.
On off-agenda items, we have one speaker on off-agenda.
Go with that, please. Let some people file out first. And
At this point in time, we'd like to call Larry Berry forward for item number 18.
Yeah, they're all going out.
My name's Larry Berry. I live on 3973 Brown Street. On November 13th of this month, the water district on the tanks up on Peacock Street and Peacock Hills and Temple Heights Street. There's two 50 million gallon tanks there for our water supply, and they're going through a renovation and cleaning and doing some stuff there. And I didn't know, my daughter lives up that way, and I was coming through there, and I noticed all this water going down the street. Literally, like surf was going down the street, and you know, little kids were boogie boarding down the street and stuff. I'm being facetious here, but I thought it was such a waste of money. So I went up and I talked to the people that were there, and he said that over 100,000 gallons of this was wastewater. But they can't take the waste. What happens is guys go in there with wetsuits and they literally scrub the bottom of this 50 million gallon tank that gives us our water under this renovation. So I was just thinking, is there any way, and he told me, the person there, they say they have to filter the water before they can dump it into the street, so it gets in the waste there. So I just would like to bring it to the attention of the council and maybe the water district at some point in time that we could learn. I talked to Lasardi Brothers. I have a friend over there in the construction business, and they would love to take that water and buy it at a minimum fee and use that water when they do landscaping to wet, when they do the grading and stuff like that. And so I thought it was just such a waste that we purify this water, we clean the water, and we dump it down the sewer, and it literally went at least a mile down the road where it was just going into the sewer and out to the ocean. And so I thought we'd find a place for that. The other thing, too, is I want to tell about a great thing in the city of Oceanside. I don't know if you've seen the trees and the different colors in the Oceanside. 20 years ago, I thought it was stupid when they planted all these trees, but it really is gorgeous on College Boulevard and on Mesa Drive, the trees there. A couple of weeks ago, I went to, my daughter does a blog for walking your dog, and I was walking my dog over on Jones Street and Fusat off there, and I was looking out there. It was 5:30 in the morning, dark, cold, you know, where you can see your breath, and I went and saw the skate park there. One of the great things that Oceanside has done is this skate park. At 6:30 in the morning, there was I stopped counting after 52 people. There was 52 people there at 6:30 in the morning using that skate park. And it's like that all the way till 8 o'clock at night. And it's one of the great things in Oceanside, and it did a great thing. Also want to talk about my church that was there for the Sun Project, New Song Church. And I just encourage everyone to turn out for the turkey trot. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll pass on, but you already did that information about the water to my city manager.
That was actually on agenda number 9. That was an emergency repair that we had to do on that tank. That was...
Thank you very much.
No further public on number 18.
What?
No further public on item number 18.
Well, thank you very much. I was going to say with the public hearing, item 19, please.
Item number 19 is introduction of an ordinance for zone amendment CA 13-0007, amending Articles 41 and 43 of the Oceanside zoning ordinance for a third 24-month automatic time extension for development plans, conditional use permits, variances, and regular coastal permits.
Thank you very much. As mayor, I'll open this public hearing and ask for disclosures from council members. Jack, please.
Only staff.
Staff. Staff.
Staff?
Staff only. Thank you very much. Any correspondence, petitions?
None.
Thank you very much. What's that? Megan, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Mayor Wood and council members. My name is Megan Crooks. I'm with the Development Services Department. And this evening I'm here to ask you to adopt an ordinance for a zone amendment that would revise time extension procedures in our zoning amendment, in our zoning ordinance. It would allow for time extensions for permits and maps that were approved on or before January 1st, 2000 and were not yet expired on or before July 15th, 2013. We're also asking that any unexpired discretionary permits that were approved concurrently with those maps are also allotted that same time extension for them to move forward. There were 3 previous bills that allowed for time extensions. The first bill, Senate Bill 1185, allowed for a 1-year extension and a local discretion of an additional year, which the City of Oceanside allowed. AB 33 allowed another 2-year extension, and AB 208 a second 2-year extension. And today we're asking for the city to adopt the AB 116 automatic 2-year time extension, which totally provides an 8-year time extension to any of these maps that have been on hold. With that, I'm available for any questions.
Megan, please have a seat at sidebar, and we'll see about the public, please.
This is a public hearing item. Any members of the public wishing to speak on this specific item may come forward to the council at this time.
Don't all rush up to the mic together. Okay. Mr. Clerk, I see none. I'll close the public hearing and come back to the council. Deputy Mayor Kern, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to move to adopt the ordinance to authorize an automatic extension with no associated cost of unexpired entitlements, including development plans, conditional use permits, variances, and regular coastal permits for a period of 24 months.
I'll second.
We have a second on that. Councilmember Feller, you want to speak, please?
I just wanted to say that development and progress for the city went through a pretty tough time during those very years, and so they're slowly getting out of this, and we should do everything we can, and this is one good thing we can do to help them, so thank you.
Thank you. I have no other lights on, so if not, please vote. Excuse me, please don't vote. He just told me he needs to read it, and I forgot. It's almost 2 or 3 seconds.
Well, yours was a little different, so. This is the introduction of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Oceanside for Zone Amendment ZA 13-7, amending Articles 41 and 43 of the Oceanside zoning ordinance to allow automatic time extensions for discretionary permits other than tentative maps that are valid on the date this ordinance becomes effective.
Thank you, and now we can vote.
I said it better.
Motion approved 5-0.
Thank you very much. With that, item number 20, please.
Item number 20 is request by Mayor Wood for annual review and appointment of council members to boards, commissions, committees, and deputy mayor for 2014.
Thank you very much. As you well know, I have to put this out a week in advance. I gave basically the same assignments as last time for making it easier for myself. I know there were some requests, and all that would do is complicate issues with council members, so I left it as is. I had some requests, but it was in conflict with other people. So this is the way I have it, and I'll present it that way with a motion. Thank you.
Are you making the motion? So
that was a motion.
I'll second, but I just had one. I'm the one that did request that the idea that I do utilities since I'm on the water authority, but I just want to make sure you got the thing and it didn't change, so that's fine. I second the motion.
Thank you, and that was you. Anybody else? Let's see, Councilmember Sanchez. I just make sure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I still believe that you should be the one making the appointments, and you should be the representative, our representative at Sandag as the mayor of the City of Oceanside. You received the highest number of votes in the history of the city, and I still believe that the changes that were made last year were not changes that were acceptable by the public, the Oceanside residents in particular. So while I continue to feel very strongly about maintaining the position that you are elected to, which is mayor, stripping you of your appointments, your mayoral duties, was completely wrong, and I still think that we should change that. So those are my comments.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I will say this right now. I do appreciate your comments. I don't agree with it either, but right now when I'm presenting it again, it's easier to just say it's something that we have right now. All my positions, I've been taken off all of them, but with that in mind, because I had conflicts coming into me regarding this, I'll leave it as it is from last year. Just take it from there. Thank you very much. And with that, Councilmember Feller, please.
I just had one request, if you could change primary and alternate for Gary and I on League of California Cities. Is that acceptable? So Gary would be the primary.
Yes, I will accept that, please. Would both of you agree on that then? If you'll make a note on it for Mr. Clerk, League of California Cities Executive Committee, Feller and Feline, alternate, switch over from alternate to primary on those two. And with that, thank you. Councilmember Feline, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, of course, this idea of going through this approval process is sometimes a little prickly because it does involve the egos of those of us up here at the dais. And I had a pleasant conversation with the mayor per the process we have to go through. So basically, I need to make one last attempt to appeal to the mayor's well-known sense of mercy and compassion. For I was interested in the Economic Development Commission, and the reason I felt that fit my background, and I just wanted to let the public know that you know, I'm just not neglecting these assignments or anything, and are interested in serving where I can. So I formally make my last appeal for mercy and compassion.
And I appreciate your appeal, but I'll pass on it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. And with that, please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, last time here is 21. You read it off that it's going to be Councilwoman Sanchez's item, okay?
Correct.
She should start it and later finish.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 21 is request by Councilmember Sanchez to direct staff to modify the city zoning ordinance to include the retail sale of alcoholic beverages as a regulated use under section 3602 if such establishment is located within 1,000 feet from any residential district or any parcel of land which contains any one or more of the following specific land uses: 1, public or private school; 2, park, playground, or public beach; 3, church or other similar religious facility; and 4, child care or preschool facility.
Thank you. And if I could have Erica Leary come up, she's going to help me with a slide presentation. Thank you very much. This item is as a result of having received a number of communications from the public. Thank you. Letting me know that there was going to be the sale of alcoholic beverages within 1,000 feet from the high school. And I did not know that. I was not noticed of that. I, in fact, recall several times that we at the dais have discussed potential projects, which is at Mission Square, including a conference center, convention center there, as well as other places. And the issue of alcoholic beverages, the sale of alcoholic beverages, has always come up as something that we did not, as a council, did not want to have there so close to the high school. With a regulated use, which is like a liquor store, certainly that would have come up. It would have given us enough notice to myself, to the public, and given the opportunity to be heard. Unfortunately, I came upon even the notion that there was going to be a Walmart where the Office Depot had been for many years. I came upon it by driving on site, like to visit Panda Express there, and noticed that there was like a staging area. There was like fencing going up, and it looked like they were going to add a pad there, another, say, store or perhaps even a restaurant, right, very, very close to the Panda Express. So what I did was I contacted staff and asked what's going on. I had understood that there really was not another way that they could add one additional pad. It seemed like every time there was a change in ownership, what would happen is they'd add a pad, like a restaurant, and then they would sell it. So it certainly has passed through several hands several times over the last few years. So what I heard was, no, there's not going to be another pad. It's going to be a Walmart. And I was very, very surprised because, you know, as we know, we already have 3 Walmarts in Oceanside. And so I thought that this should have gone through some kind of community process to what would be good there. We do have grocery store in the neighborhood, and what I was then given was, okay, a further description. It was going to be a neighborhood Walmart, and this is by way of a memo which we received, and it took several days for staff to find out what was really going on, because I guess there were some people in planning that had some contact and knew what was going on, but others that did not. So it took a few days, and what we ended up getting was a memo that said, okay, it is going to be a neighborhood Walmart, it's a new model for Walmart, and it is going to also sell food. That's how it was described to me by staff. I had no further description other than that. So it was not till I received all these communications from the public that, in fact, it was going to be a grocery store selling alcohol, alcoholic beverages, hard alcohol, beer, wine, that kind of thing. And I was shocked. I was shocked because this is a neighborhood that I'm very well acquainted with. It is a neighborhood that is especially challenged. It has the highest, probably the highest saturation of liquor sales already. It is probably has one of the highest crime rates, and it is right across the street from high school where kids, you know, one of the issues for the neighborhood is alcohol abuse. We have spent a lot of hundreds of thousands of dollars in over the years addressing this very issue of alcohol abuse. And so it did not make sense to me that we were not notified. I was able to find out from ABC that, in fact, we had been notified through the city clerk's office, through the police department, and through planning, but somehow that didn't get filtered to the public at large. There was supposedly a sign that was put up there, but because, you know, it's not visible from the street, the public had no notice until after the close of the period. In fact, the school district didn't even know. The principal was sent a letter during the summer when school was out, and the principal didn't ever get the message. In fact, I think they just recently got it about a week or 2 weeks ago. So what I have before us is, and I was trying to figure out how can we avoid this happening again. Number one, of course, I think we have to work on our noticing, and I've been talking to the city clerk's office about establishing new policy for advising the public, since the city clerk's office does get those notices, and city clerk has been wonderful in terms of saying, yes, you know, I'm willing to have a new policy within the office of notification. But there's also the sense of, you know, shouldn't this have gone to the council? We did have a meeting with the police department, with the chief, and this was a community meeting. There were several neighborhoods represented, several nonprofit organizations represented, a member of the school board also there. And so we're trying to figure out how can we avoid this happening again. We're talking about a problem within our community, which is alcohol abuse by our youth. And here we're going to have basement pricing for beer. So what I have suggested that we do is that, you know, in looking at our zoning ordinance, is that we include the retail sale of alcoholic beverages if the place is located within 1,000 feet of a school, a park, a church, or the beach. And that way, the whole community would know, and the community would have a chance to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Erica for the slideshow. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you, Councilmember Sanchez and Mayor and members of the council. I appreciate the opportunity to share some information with you and hopefully convince you that increasing local control over alcohol sales goes a long way in preventing alcohol-related problems. In fact, the ABC encourages cities up and down the state to institute a conditional use permit process so that some of the conditions that local cities want to impose can be implemented to deal with local problems. The ABC has strict guidelines and can get hamstrung in what they can implement on licenses. So I'll go through this briefly. This was a presentation that was shared at our recent coalition meeting last Thursday. And I've been up before you many times in the future. For those, just for the record, I'm Erica Leary. I'm the program manager for the North Coastal Prevention Coalition, which is fiscally managed by the Vista Community Clinic. I've been in this role for, going on 18 years, I think. And for all those 18 years and many years before that, alcohol has always been the #1 drug of abuse by teens. There's a lot of different factors that influence that, from parenting, family roles, genetic influences, peer pressure, youth personalities, a whole bunch of different factors. But it shouldn't be forgotten or ignored the importance of local community conditions that impact those factors as well. And you, as our leaders and our police department that impose the policies that set how alcohol is available in our communities, can go a long way in preventing those problems or can go a long way in exacerbating those problems. I passed out to you a fact sheet from a group called Alcohol Justice. They've compiled research from across the nation. Study after study finds that alcohol outlet density, that's the amount of alcohol availability in communities, is very strongly correlated with alcohol-related problems. In fact, one study found that alcohol outlet density is the single greatest predictor of violence, violent crime in neighborhoods. This particular neighborhood that we're talking about has a crime rate at 388% higher than the city average. Another study also found that Hispanic youth who live farther from alcohol retailers are less likely to drink, and decreasing the distance to retailers is significantly associated with an increase in alcohol consumption, even when controlling for social and environmental factors. Here's the location we're talking about. I'm sure everybody is familiar with that. The old Office Depot location and Oceanside High School, about 500 feet across the street. These are existing alcohol licensed businesses in the nearby area. The census tract on the west side of 5 currently has 4 alcohol businesses, and across Highway 5 we have 6 right in close proximity along Mission Avenue. Now the ABC looks at census tracts. Overconcentration for this area is their formula would allow for 2 licenses. There's already 4, so this is what they call an overconcentrated area. And it's also high crime. They look at anything over 120% higher than city average. As I mentioned, this is 388% higher than city average. And unfortunately, what this is going to bring is a lot of more cheap alcohol. This is from a website that found that Walmart is really increasing their role in the alcohol market. I'm sure many of us recall that it hasn't been too long since both Target and Walmart have gotten into the alcohol retail business. And Walmart is looking to make great gains in that and not marking up their alcohol prices. So a study found that alcohol on the profit on a 36-pack of Coors Light was only 0.6%. So we're going to see a lot more cheap, large packs available alcohol right in this neighborhood. I had the opportunity to visit the only other neighborhood market in the county, which is in La Mesa. I wanted to check out how they were marketing, displaying, and promoting their alcohol. In this particular location, they have open coolers with the large packs of alcohol, 30, 36 can packs, right next to the soda. And the 30-pack of Natural Light is $14.97, making it less than 50 cents a can. Right inside the front door was a display of the Lime-A-Rita, Cran-Burrita, and Straw-Burrita, 2 steps inside the front door. And directly across from the alcohol coolers is their aisle of hard liquor, blending into mixed drinks and soda. None of their hard liquor had safety caps on it. I think we heard about this process already. What we're here tonight is not specifically about the Walmart, but the fact that the public was not aware of this issue, didn't have a chance to voice their concerns, and the importance of increasing local control so that if we wanted to see conditions such as limiting where alcohol is displayed in the store or keeping beer in locked coolers, you as a city have that authority to do that if you have the proper policies in place. Your current policies don't permit you to add any additional conditions on Walmart that would impact their store marketing of where they keep their alcohol. I mentioned this already about undue concentration, and what's necessary to grant a liquor license for off-sale consumption is a determination of public convenience or necessity, if it's high crime or undue concentration. In Oceanside, that's handled through the police department, and honestly, I believe there could be more public input into that process. What did they base their determination that the public needed the convenience and access to more cheap alcohol? If the police department had determined that public convenience or necessity was not met, then the applicant could not move any further with the ADC. The state ADC code also addresses the fact of proximity to schools and says that they could deny a license within 600 feet of a school, but that often doesn't happen. That people are meant to try to prove how that will impact public welfare and morals. I believe a lot of the latest research that we have does demonstrate that it will impact public health and safety, but at this point it's not clear that the ADC would deny the license. So again, in conclusion, there's a lot of opportunity within city leaders and city government to influence the retail availability of alcohol to prevent future problems. I think the proposal by Councilmember Sanchez is a good first step. We also may want to look at public convenience or necessity determination processes, and there are cities across the state that have numerous regulations in place so that they can get a handle on how alcohol is sold and marketed in their communities. Thank you. I'm here for any questions.
Thank you, and I believe we do have some speakers. How many do we have? 9. Okay. I'd like to go ahead and have them speak and then kind of wrap it up before I...
I will be calling you at 3 speakers at a time. First we have Donna McGinty, second we have Maria Russell, and third we have Imelda Brindley.
2405 Mesa Drive. I'm very familiar with Eastside and pretty much familiar with the downtown area that this is being placed in. It's about time that the Red and White and Pappy's had some competition for the grocery stores. We've needed a good grocery store in that area for a long, long, long time, and the people who live along the beach and in North and South Oceanside are certainly interested in having that market there. I think that parental control where children are involved in coming into a grocery store is lacking a whole bunch in the first place, and parents are pretty lax about where their children are in any of the grocery stores for that matter. And they need to control their own children. They need to know where their children are, and when in the grocery store, they need to keep them close to themselves and not wandering throughout the store, running up and down the aisles. I'm happy to see them coming. Eastside is certainly not a place I would want to allow my children to run around loose at night. There's so many alcohol opportunities in such a short span of area. It really is dangerous for the families. That needs to be considered as opposed to the potential alcohol sales at Walmart. I like the Walmart stores. They're good quality. They're bringing things we need to this community. They're sure as heck bringing good sales tax revenue, and I don't think it should be changed in footage to accommodate we don't want liquor in the neighborhood. It isn't fair to them, and it isn't fair to the people who will go there and spend money and bring sales tax into this community.
Mayor Wood, City Council members, my name is Maria Russell, President of the Eastside Neighborhood Association, and I'm a 12-year resident of Oceanside. We have failed our children by letting a corporation like Walmart come in to the Mesa, to the Mission Square to sell alcohol. This store is located 500 feet from our Oceanside High. We have saturated our local neighborhoods with alcohol establishments and saturated our city with Walmart. What kind of message are we sending to the surrounding cities? It sounds like we are a second-rate city instead of a wonderful, diverse city we really are.
With this said, we would like City Council to move forward with Councilmember Sanchez's proposal to direct staff to modify the city ordinance to include the retail sales of alcohol beverages to be 1,000 feet of public and private schools, parks, playgrounds, or public beaches, churches and other similar religious facilities, and child care and preschool facilities. Thank you.
My name is Nelda Brinley, and I'm a member of the ERA. Mark Twain, in all his infinite cynical wisdom, once referred to the Congress of the United States as that grand old benevolent asylum for the criminally insane. Now, I think Mr. Twain and members of the Congress would be very surprised at the gathering we have here, because every one of us in this room shares a commonality. The commonality that we love our children, we want what's best for them, and we want them to be happy. The idea of selling liquor at that Walmart, I think, would be a tsunami waiting to happen. And I speak from personal experience. 6 months ago, it was just a grand, one of those days that you say, thank God I'm alive, and you diddy-bop outside your front door, and there was a young man of 13 or 14 passed out on the sidewalk in front of my house. Now, I could not revive him, so I called the police and the paramedics, and they came. And they finally were able to revive him, and I heard him say, I had too much to drink. And they took him in the ambulance to the hospital. Now, what happened to that young man, I don't know. Like so many of our children, he is nameless. Nameless or not, he belongs to me, he belongs to all of us. And so I hope that we strongly consider stopping the sale of alcohol at that particular Walmart for our children and our community, and ultimately our country. Thank you.
The next three speakers we have are Tim Broom, Samuel Perseno Jimenez, and Alexis Oriana.
I'm Tim Broom, member of Eastside Neighborhood Association. I live on Pappan Street here in the city. We live in a great city, no question about it. Oceanside is just a place to be. We've got the beach, bike trails, and the East Side neighborhood's a great place too. I'd like to thank the police department, particularly Chief McCoy, for keeping the East Side safe. That said, I'm convinced from talking to the police that there was no ill or malice when they reviewed the ABC application for Walmart. I believe that they get swamped with applications. I think they were looking at a supermarket application. I don't care if a Walmart or a Kmart or whoever moves in down there, that's all fine. The only problem that I really have is selling alcohol so close to a high school. You know, you can regulate it all you want. You can put restrictions on it. You can move the booze to the back of the store, put safety caps on, all that nonsense. Kids are still going to come in. They're going to recruit adults in the parking lot to buy booze from them. They're going to go in and see if they can get away with putting a can of beer in their backpack and walking out. Just the way kids are. We've all been through that ourselves. So I guess my point with this is that there's absolutely nothing wrong with moving a Walmart. You know, we could have 10 Walmarts. I don't really care. I'm not a Walmart person, but, you know, it makes people happy, and it's convenient for them. It could be convenient for the people from the east side and town side to go in there and purchase their food. It's great. But I don't really think that selling alcohol in there is a good idea. And the last thing I wanted to bring your attention, if we sell alcohol in that store, we're really opening the door. Because the 99-cent store, the Chinese restaurant, there's an Italian restaurant in there, none of those stores are selling alcohol. So if we let Walmart sell alcohol, we've just opened the door to granting the 99-cent store liquor license as well. So I'd like for you to consider that. Thanks so much for your time.
My name is Samuel Briseño Jimenez.
More mic. I can't hear you, I'm sorry. Thank you.
My name is Samuel Briseño Jimenez, and I am a member of the North Coastal Prevention Youth Coalition. I am currently a student at El Camino, and I joined the North Coastal Prevention Youth Coalition at first to interact with my peers, and after attending many meetings, I realized that it was more than that. It was to improve the community and prevent people from interacting in the use of illegal substances and drugs and alcohol. And I wanted to point out that alcohol is the most abused drug by teens, and 30% of 11th graders in Oceanside report drinking in the past month. 79% say alcohol is easy to get.
Can you speak in the mic?
We're doing our part to help prevent underage drinking, but we need you to do your part also.
Could you say those, I'm sorry, could you say those, the last, you said a certain number?
Oh, of course. Alcohol is the most abused drug by teens, and 30% of 11th graders in Oceanside report drinking in the past month. 79% say alcohol is easy to get.
Thank you.
My name is Alexis Ariana, and I'm also a member of the North Coastal Prevention Youth Coalition, and I'm also a student at El Camino High School. Walmart Neighborhood Market is like where it's being located is right across from Oceanside High School, and I as a teen know that like maybe I have friends or something that like say, oh you should drink or something because it's easy to come by. And according to research studies, alcohol is the greatest predictor like of violent crime in neighborhoods. Adding a business that sells alcohol is not going to help reduce underage drinking or alcohol-related problems. A student can easily go off campus and go to the Walmart and buy beer and then easily hide it in their backpacks and bring it on campus and expose it to the rest of the students. It also can increase shoplifting. Backpacks, I mean, there's usually when I go to Walmart, there's only one person standing there. Sometimes there isn't, so you can easily just run away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our final four speakers are Jesus Manzano, David Neidegger, C.C. Haas, and Larry Derry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jesus Manzano, and I am representing the North Coastal Prevention Youth Coalition. As my previous youth coalition members also stated, we are a group working to aim the reduction of drugs and other illegal substances such as alcohol and underage drinking and marijuana and other drugs in the community. What my main focus is for right now is I feel that the city of Oceanside was in a sense cheated in this situation. I feel that the citizens of Oceanside were not aware or entirely aware of the plans to build a Walmart so near a school, and I feel that it is in a sense incorrect to make a decision so abrupt right at this moment, because I feel we need to inform more citizens. I have been to other city workshops, such as one that involved sandbag and transportation over the summer, and I saw a group of people from all over the city, from all corners of the city, come and get together and discuss that. I feel that we should have other workshops or other community forums such as those to inform citizens about the Walmart's intentions to sell alcohol so near a school. I also feel that why should we sell alcohol so near a school? I think that in a sense that in itself doesn't sound right. Why so near a school, it is incorrect. Why lure alcoholics or people who have a dependency on the substance so near a school and concentrate them? I feel like this would only set a bad example and perpetuate the already faulty social cultural perspective of this area. I feel that perhaps it is too premature to make a decision right now, and I feel that we should definitely involve the community more and get them more involved and make them voice their opinions before we can make a decision. Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, my name is David Neidiger. I'm the President and CEO of the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce. First of all, I want to thank the North Coastal Convention folks. You guys do great work. In no way would I ever want to support teenage drinking or drug and alcohol abuse or drugs, for sure. In fact, the Chamber was a proud winner of an award from you folks for what we did at Harbor Days to cut back on the efforts down there, and we thank you for that. However, there's an area here that we're not addressing, and that's the business community in the city of Oceanside. This particular ordinance, I'm very much opposed to for several reasons. First of all, the 1,000-foot level, if that were in place, we could no longer have restaurants like 333, Zigzag Pizza, Harney Sushi, That Boy Good, Flying Pig, Panka, Privateer. All of those folks are within that 1,000-foot radius that we're talking about that would cause them not to be able to sell their alcohol or get a conditional use permit, which they would probably get. But a conditional use permit would delay that process. And I look at the idea of if I'm buying a home and closing and starting to pay your mortgage and say, oh, wait a minute, you can't move in because we still have to go through a permitting process for you. Well, wait a minute, I'm still paying my mortgage, yes, but you can't move in. And by the way, we're not sure whether you're going to be able to have a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom home there. Those are the kind of things that are a little bit tough to swallow. Also, historically, when Mr. Elm Glazer, the founder of that property, a Mission Square Shopping Center, built that center, I think it was probably in the mid-50s, late 50s, I'm not sure. Thrifty Drugstore was there, and they sold alcohol right across the street from the actually it's now Maricosta College, but then it was Oceanside Carlsbad Junior College. OCJC was right across the street. Also, Albertsons, I'm not sure if it was Albertsons or Vaughn's was in there for a long time. They also sold alcohol. So now we're going down a road that I'm very concerned about, the business community is concerned about. Alcohol is taxable. That would be an additional tax for our city, which we desperately need. I do not think this is the time for us to start trying to isolate and break out one business from another. Thank you.
My name is Cece Haas, and have been a resident of Oceanside for about 5 years. I've been a business owner in Oceanside also, and I'm on the board of the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce. And I'm also the intake coordinator for a men's drug and alcohol recovery program that I have been doing that and counseling families for 6 years. And I will tell you first of all that children get alcohol mainly from their parents. They do not get it from a grocery store. As far as I know, they have to show ID to purchase alcohol in a grocery store, and they would not be allowed to get it. And so if they're trying to convince somebody in the parking lot to do that, again, it's pretty well regulated and seen, and that grocery store would have its liquor license taken out. I am very, very much opposed to this for business. I think it will affect our businesses in Oceanside in a very difficult way. It's already hard to get a business open. It's hard to maintain it. And if we put this kind of restrictions on it, it's going to cause us to lose a lot of business. And that's an empty building that Walmart's going to take over, and it's going to add jobs, and it's going to add a lot of benefits to our neighborhood. So thank you.
My name is Larry Berry. I live on 3973 Brown Street. I'm opposed to any kind of ordinance that would, let's be honest here, this is anti-Walmart people get up, trying to fuel the fire here. And, we hate Walmart, one of the most successful companies in the United States, if not the world. I take issue with the woman in the red shirt there and stuff. 338% of Hispanics, are alcohol and stuff like that. That's racist, let's bring it up there.
Excuse me, let him finish talking and talk to us, please.
I think it's, we're talking about a store that's going to be selling everything from, diapers and medicine to, food at a good price. I own 2 units at North Coast Village. This would be a great supermarket for our area here. We're talking about 2 aisles, maybe an aisle and a half. Not a store. It's not like they're saying, come on in, kids, let's get this stuff. I agree with the woman that just spoke that this is about talking about, the parents or their peer pressure. I commend you. I think it's great, young people standing up. be peer pressure to these people in your own neighborhood that we can stop this, alcohol abuse and kids falling down. It's peer pressure. It's not a store selling it. I think that, again, this is Walmart, anti-Walmart, big store. It's going to be we need the tax dollars. They're going to hire over 60 people for this store. It's going to be a great thing. It's going to fill another vacant storefront in our city. One of the things Walmart's going to do, it's going to bring other stores in there. You're going to see an increase of other businesses coming there because they're what they call an anchor store. And we are going to see the income, a betterment of that site. So I'm telling you, it's not about the people. Keep up the fight. Nobody's talking to you about, killing an idea of alcoholism, but peer pressure is the way we're going to fight this. Thank you very much.
No further public on this item.
I'm sorry?
No further public on this item.
Thank you very much for that.
So just to wrap this up, first of all, what is before us today is not to stop the current Walmart. The Walmart is going in. They did not have to get any special permits to come in. I thought I made that clear, but let me state again, this is not about the Walmart or that this is not trying to stop the Walmart from coming in. It is certainly not to stop grocery stores. Food sales, there's no sales tax in food, so I think the question about bringing sales tax, additional sales tax, there is no sales tax for food items. This ordinance would not apply to restaurants. Chamber of Commerce apparently thought that this was going to be, this is actually very, very narrowly tailored to the issue of selling alcohol for consumption off-site. So we're talking about within, close to a school. So that would not include a restaurant. And that's why it was very, like I said, this is a very, very narrowly tailored to try to address the issue of alcoholism among youth, where you have a very high rate of it happening in this neighborhood with a high crime rate, high saturation of liquor sales already, and close to a school. So those are the reasons. It's not, certainly making a retail sale establishment that is right across the street from a high school or from a school, making it go through one extra step so that the community is fully aware of what's going on and the community has a chance to speak on this. I think that is something we owe to the community. You're talking about, and I appreciate the comments by those who did not think that this was a good idea. None of the people who spoke against this reside in the neighborhood or have the experience of having to deal with this issue of alcoholism in this particular community. This is a problem. This has been happening for decades, and resources, both public, city resources, community resources, have been used, hundreds of thousands of dollars to address this issue. And what you have here is our kids. This is a product of that, of those investments in this community. You've got kids who are willing to stand up and speak against the sale of alcohol because they know to their peers. So we know through experience that when you have something like this right across the street from a high school, and by the way, if you've been there when school lets out here at the Mission Square, you see droves of kids going across the street. You see, and then unfortunately a lot of the gang activity and a lot of the stabbings and shootings happen in this shopping center. There will be easy access to these kids. They can easily get somebody to buy the case of beer or steal it. Hey, I was a public defender, and let me tell you, doing a beer run and stealing a case of beer was something that happened a lot. I'm more concerned about the kids who don't get caught, and also the kids that end up getting others to buy it. Almost done here. You know, one of the statistics that we got was that, or one of the pieces of information that we received, is that this particular store, and I don't care if it was Walmart or anything or any other store, is having a campaign to try to be the biggest distributor of beer at a markup of 0.6%. 0.6%. To make a can of beer at less than 50 cents a beer. That means there's going to be more alcohol in this particular neighborhood. More alcohol. When you have alcohol, more alcohol at parties, at gatherings, be it family gatherings, and parents buy in, you know, boxes and boxes, cases and cases of beer, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. And I did want to ask Erica, I think, Erica, you were challenged about a statistic that you gave, and I didn't hear that it was particularly racist, as it was suggested. Could you tell us again what that statistic was?
I think he combined two different statistics that I shared. One was that the crime rate in that area is 388% higher than city average, and that is a statistic that I got from the ABC through the police department. And then on a different slide, I shared a research study that had to deal with outlet density in neighborhoods, and this research study was specific about Hispanic neighborhoods and youth, and concluded that those who live farther from alcohol retailers are less likely to drink, and those that live closer to retailers have an increase in alcohol consumption. And that research study is cited right there at the bottom. He's welcome to, I gave him the handout where that came from, and you can look that up. Thank you.
Thank you. And to sum this up, 30% reported of our teens reported drinking alcohol or alcoholic beverage in the past month, 30%, and 75% said it was easy, said they could easily get it. What I've asked you to consider is something that is narrowly tailored to address the issue at hand, and that is that this not happen again, that when there is another attempt or another move for a business which is a retailer of alcoholic beverages to come in specifically, very specifically, right next to or across the street from a school or a park where youth hang out, across the street from a church. This is actually language from our zoning ordinance that talks about regulated uses. So this would actually apply to a liquor store. So what I'm doing here is, or what I've done here is made sure that this was narrowly tailored so it would not include a restaurant, that it would be just within these areas of concern, which is our youth, and that it would give the public a chance to speak on this. Because I'm sure that as much as we spend resources, as much as we spend combating these kind of issues, we want to give our kids a chance to live an alcohol-free, a drug-free life. Thank you. Yeah, my motion is that we adopt my motion is to direct staff to modify the city zoning ordinance to include the retail sale of alcoholic beverages as a regulated use under section 3602 if such establishment is located within 1,000 feet from any residential district or any parcel of land which contains any of one or more of the following specific land uses. Number 1, public or private school. Number 2, park, playground, or public beach. Number 3, church or other similar religious facility. And number 4, a child care or preschool facility. That's my motion.
I'll second that for discussion. Thank you very much. And with that, Councilmember Feline, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess, we seem to have a lot of discussion about Walmart, and yet it seems that it's not relevant to what we're debating here tonight. So I guess so we can, I guess, get the official word here, whether George or Mr. City Manager, where is Walmart in the permit process?
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, and Councilmember Feline, the Walmart was approved through a ministerial process. It was approved through plan check. The ABC license for the sale of alcohol was also approved ministerially.
Okay, so that water's under the bridge. You know, Walmart's being built, and I have to say, I think the good of this project far outweighs any negative downside that having a grocery store in a neighborhood that's been looking for one for a long time, I think is a tremendous boost. The other question I have, don't leave yet, I'm not done with you. But we had this debate before when I first came on the city council, dealing with neighborhood activists or members of the neighborhood concerned about not getting proper notification on projects, and it certainly, I certainly support anyone who wants to be notified, getting notified. So I thought we created a permanent list that anyone would be on, that they would be notified about any project that took place in the city, regardless of how close they were. Does that list still exist, and are we sending it out?
We have the means by which residents can be, or anybody can be notified of projects that are underway in the city through the city's website. Now, that would include when meetings are scheduled, such as a developers conference, a planning commission hearing, a council hearing, and so forth.
Because I guess my concern, and I'll ask the councilwoman where she feels the breakdown kind of occurred here, because I thought, I'm totally supportive of making sure we have a system that people are going to be notified before the fact, because it doesn't do any good to hear about something after the fact, and I thought we have successfully addressed this issue. So I would be interested in hearing later where the breakdown may be taking place or what might need to be fixed there.
Let me just speak to that directly. Because this was a ministerial application, meaning that it's approved by staff without going to the planning commission or into any hearing, there is no notification required for a ministerial permit issued by the city. Now, with respect to the ABC license, as Councilmember Sanchez mentioned, they are required to put notice in the window, but that is not the process that the city is involved with. That's through the State Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control.
Okay, so the issue of the list doesn't apply to this
That's correct.
process and this problem, so it's not relevant to that. Okay, then the last question is, if any kind of ordinance like this were to be adopted, how much time would be added to go through the CUP process for someone to open a liquor store, grocery store, any establishment that would be affected by this ordinance?
Just to be clear, this would not apply to liquor stores. Liquor stores are already regulated through the regulated use section of the zoning ordinance. And so, as I understand correctly, that Councilmember Sanchez intends for this to apply very narrowly to the retail sale of alcoholic beverages. Previously, I will say that I understood this to be more broadly defined, and it would perhaps apply to restaurants. That does not appear to be the case. And but with respect to your question, Councilmember Feline, if a standalone grocery store were to desire to sell alcoholic beverages, that would take about a 3-month plus period of time.
Okay, and so then we've ruled out liquor stores, and so then it seems to me it's only going to apply to grocery stores, or say convenience stores, or gas stations, establishments like that.
Convenience stores already require a conditional use permit.
Okay.
So this again would be narrowly defined as I understand it, and we would work with the language, but as I'm hearing Councilmember Sanchez speak, I'm understanding that this would apply to grocery stores that desire to sell alcohol. And so
okay, I guess I'm just not convinced that grocery stores are the big problem here, since all these other businesses seem to be exempt already. And as I recall the map, there seem to be 10 locations already selling liquor. Let's see, I want to make sure I have my note here. Oh, thank you very much. I need to ask the chief a question, if he may come down. My question deals with experience in dealing with the police department's experience and being involved in underage drinking. Do you find that the source of the alcohol that underage drinkers acquire, is it more from straw buyers or fake IDs or thefts, or taking it from the home?
Honorable Mayor, council members, Councilmember Feline, that would be a hard question to answer just off the cuff. I think that a variety of those, all of those encompass alcohol issues in our community. But I would say a vast majority of the alcohol does come from the home. We do have, as Councilwoman Sanchez indicated, we do have thefts that occur in our local businesses, whether it's grocery stores, liquor stores, gas stations, that do sell alcohol, where they do what's called beer runs, where they grab a 6-pack or a 12-pack of beer and run out the door. That does occur as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so it just seems to me in reviewing this that we have a problem in terms of underage drinking that we all acknowledge, but a solution that really isn't going to solve the underlying problem that's being asked, that we're trying to address here. And it seems more of a kind of a feel-good response to a problem that hasn't even occurred yet as it relates to a new Walmart. And I think when I look at this, because the issue of alcohol or theft, this applies to any grocery store. I certainly have 4 grocery stores in my neighborhood in East Side that certainly sell, each have 2 or 3 aisles of alcohol and liquor, and I'm sure they have their share of thefts as well, or people buying it and then passing it on to underage people. And and our neighborhood, overall is fine. I think we need to keep in mind that correlation is not causation, and the statistics used dealing with the crime and neighborhoods, that face specific challenges, maybe it's not the presence of liquor stores, but it's the absence of grocery stores. It's the other businesses that have left, and the high-priced liquor stores are the only ones that's left. So, basically bringing back grocery stores is going to be a big positive step without adding to a problem here, since there's plenty of establishments where alcohol is already accessible to either people old enough to legally purchase it and abuse it, and people who are not legally old enough to purchase it and still acquire it and abuse it anyway. So I don't see the need to move forward at this time with this ordinance. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. I don't think it's a good idea to add grocery store to regulated use. I think the process worked here. I think the idea that by right that they were there was a grocery store there before, it streamlines the process, which we were trying to do all along, is to streamline processes. So the idea of adding 3 to 4 months, optimistically 3 to 4 months, it depends on the schedule, because if you can't get it scheduled for planning commission, it might get delayed another 3 weeks to a month, and then from there to council it may be 3 weeks to a month. So you're possibly looking at a 6-month delay just to open a grocery store. So this is a solution in desperately search of a problem. The idea that it doesn't solve your Walmart problem, and I understand that some people are anti-Walmart, but if you were actually anti-alcohol close to high schools, nobody came and spoke against the Earth Grown going across the street from Ocean Shores, saying it's a grocery store going across the street from a high school, and not a word, and everybody was okay with that. And I bet if this was an Earth Grown or a Trader Joe's, there wouldn't be a word about that either. I think that the real target here is because it's a Walmart. So the idea that, and we do work on alcohol problems. I'm not going to bring the chief back up, but we do have a social host ordinance that we do enforce. The idea that if you go to a party and the parents provide alcohol to teenagers and the police show up, those parents are going to be held accountable for those teenagers. And that's been enforced for how long, Chief? 5, 6 years now? Yeah, about that long? And they do enforce it. So we are working on that problem. This is not a problem that we need to solve with this. So the idea of making grocery stores a regulated use is not a good way to go. This does bring 65 jobs to the neighborhood. In fact, I help facilitate Walmart using the Veterans Association of North County as their hiring center, which is right across from the neighborhood. So people in the neighborhood could walk across the street to the Vance building and apply for a job at Walmart. They've done a very good job there. They have all the computers set up. If you want to apply, you can still apply. It's at the old police station right there on Mission Avenue, and they're looking for 65 people to work there. So that's the one thing that they try to do is hire locally, so it will be a benefit of the neighborhood. We do have, and what happened now is the backpedaling of what it was said in print and what I really meant it to be, according to Councilmember Sanchez. I think the big pushback was a letter from the San Diego County Restaurant Association.
No.
Because, like David said, the idea, all these other restaurants, because it's established next to residential districts, not high schools. It didn't say anything about, high schools. It said 1,000 feet from any residential district. So a grocery store within 1,000 feet of any residential district, well, that's where they build them all. So the idea, this is not a good ordinance, and it's poorly written. So the idea that I can't support it, and I don't think anybody up here should support it. This actually should be defeated 5-0, but obviously it probably won't be, because the idea that we need to encourage businesses to come to Oceanside. We need to have streamlined processes, surety in the system, and not add regulated uses for other cities don't have grocery stores as regulated uses. So I can't support this. I don't see to go down this road, and basically you're trying to solve a problem that you can't solve with this ordinance, because Walmart's already got their permits. So I think this has been a total waste of time.
Councilmember Feller.
If I could have one of the police officers that knows what we required from Walmart for this particular application, would that be the lieutenant, captain? Captain. Was he demoted?
Good evening, Mayor and Councilmember. Captain Tom McGee, Oceanside Police.
So, what I'm wondering is, did we put terms on it such as location and merchandise, security, closed circuit television, those types of things?
Well, unfortunately, ABC does not regulate the location of the alcohol inside the stores. That's out of their regulation purview. However, I have met with the store staff. We have currently in working conditions regarding, we protest every alcohol license that's submitted by ABC that comes to us. We automatically protest it, review it, and we submit recommendations regarding conditions. And some of those recommended conditions is the times of sales of that alcohol, security guards, those kind of things, and the type of liquor, and those kind of things that we regulate, the advertisement of, that they cannot advertise their alcohol, those kind of things. I also met with store management within the last week. I met with them and they expressed their willingness to work with the community and the police department in doing some things that are outside the alcohol license process. They're willing to lock up high-end alcohol. They have a system in place so that when a customer wants to retrieve alcohol, they have to pull a tag and it has to be recovered by an associate. They are going to put sensor caps on all the other alcohol that's on display. They're going to have video surveillance cameras and state-of-the-art cashier registers there to monitor processes during the regulated hours and non-regulated hours of alcohol sales. They're also going to institute measures to secure these aisles during the non-regulated hours so that no one can go down those aisles during hours you're not supposed to sell alcohol.
So they are working with us as far as the placement of their alcohol. It's isolated to the rear store, only approximately 400 square feet of a 30,000 feet building. They are very proactive and willing to work with the police and have also interest in arranging a community meeting to hear the concerns of all the residents in that local neighborhood.
Thank you. That is what I really wanted to hear. There was a market and liquor store on the corner of Horn and Bush Street, which was well within that 1,000 feet, that was probably not as diligent about securing up the alcohol for sure, and I know they're not in business anymore, but that is definitely a great improvement, and I hope that is something that kind of softens the blow for those that are not interested. I am. That's all I needed, sir. I knew about this in the early summer. It was pretty well known. I talked about it freely with a number of people, and I remember when we were talking about the City Mart blocks, and even Councilmember Sanchez said that we needed a grocery store on one of those blocks in the middle of all the, much like the one in San Diego where there's a Ralph's underneath, a 12-story residential unit. And I think that's, what we're really trying to affect here, and I don't think that's going to be a positive way to go about this. And I know alcohol's been #1 abused for a lot longer than the last 12 or 15 years. It's probably goes back, for whoever's the oldest here,
Decades, yeah.
probably for decades as the most abused. It might have been cigarettes at one time, but I think it's changed a lot. And what I think this is looking for is a way for government to be the babysitter, when in fact the only way we've failed our children is by not being responsible parents. I can't help all the people's circumstances, but I believe that the parents that contribute to this are probably, more to blame than any store that sells it. I know in my own case, we don't have any alcohol in the house. We haven't for the last 31 years. We've instilled that with our children, our grandchildren, great-grandson. And I think that we're, while Erica, I see Erica everywhere, and she's a great champion for children and the drug and alcohol and all the abuses that go on. She is a champion. This is really not a business-friendly way to go about solving a problem, and I hope that there is probably another solution. I would say that the parents just have to take responsibility for raising children, and it is not the City of Oceanside's responsibility. We should be providing the services that are necessary to the city, but being a babysitter over what kids and teenagers do is not our job. We can do what we can do. As Captain Igigi said, they've worked out a great process at this store, and I assume they will continue to work this out in any future stores. There won't probably be too many more. Might be change of ownership or change of locations for some stores, but this is really something that I'm not interested in being the solution for parents not taking their own responsibilities. And you know, my hat's off to the young people that are here today that are from a school that I frequent about 5 times a week, not Ocean Shores, but El Camino. You know, they deserve all the credit for coming forward and standing tall against those that would ask them to participate in drinking or drugs or any other thing. So I hope they keep up that good work. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Esther. You do get to close, but I'll throw a few words in here if I may. When this first came up, I didn't think it would pass. That's not unusual. We usually tend to see a 3-2 council. That's not the point. I seconded the motion for discussion because I think not only we need to hear it, but people there and at home. I think there's some very good merits and points that Councilmember Sanchez brought up and other people that spoke. There's no doubt in my mind that there's a problem and an issue that needs to be addressed. Seconding the motion doesn't mean it's going to win, and that's what I'm used to, so that's no big shock. But with that in mind, I did over 30 years in law enforcement here in Oceanside, and let's face it, between alcohol and drugs, there's your crime. Most of the crimes are connected to those two, and no city that I know of has came up with a solution to fix it. We have little band-aid approaches on different issues that we kind of put out there every so often. It sounds good or looks good, but it doesn't seem to work, and it doesn't work because there's big money in alcohol sales and probably not so much commercially, but in illegal drugs. It's all about money. We understand that. All the liquor stores that are in Oceanside and in a town like this, the military, I expect it. I've seen it. It's not going to go away because it's money. With that in mind, Councilmember Esther Sanchez has a big heart and compassion not only for the whole city but her neighborhoods, and that is a high crime area, as she's explained. I seconded it because not that it was going to win the vote, but I think letting people hear her whys and the other people's reasons it's going to be pro or con is important, because deep down inside there is a problem that needs to be addressed. I don't have the answer. She hit the tip of the iceberg and probably what should be done. I think down the road what I don't want to see is this die, and I think the city and other people need to come together and kind of come up with a solution that will probably help more than anything else. This was a shot at something saying it's harder to get alcohol at cheaper prices. I agree. People buy alcohol at the cheapest place, and Walmart will be that. Now the other side of that, and I know she knows that from me talking, is we've always wanted a really nice supermarket or something downtown, and we hadn't gotten one for a while our trying. The ones that left understood why they left, are mainly for shoplifting problems. But I wanted something downtown to benefit the downtown area, the tourism downtown, all the condos and et cetera that we see all year round, but in particular Center Street and the East Side probably would get better rates on groceries and other items, and I think that's wonderful. Whoever it was going to be, it happened to turn out to be Walmart, something downtown we all cheer about. And you saw her write-up was not trying to stop Walmart, it's their sales of alcohol, cheap alcohol. I don't think it will win tonight, but I'm still happy that I said a second on it, so we can talk about it and discuss it. Another thing, you all showed up to talk about it, and the kids here, and I appreciate it. The other thing is I don't drink, so my attitude, I don't care if anybody sells it, but they do, and it's a big money maker. with that in mind, whatever happens on the vote now, I think Councilman Sanchez was on the right track in trying to come up with a solution, and it's obvious. I don't know if it should disappear if it doesn't pass tonight. I think she did a good thing. Maybe staff and other community members that were here tonight will get and talk more about it and how to address it. I mean, we see it in cigarettes, we see it in illegal drugs, marijuana, etc., and it does impact our society and our youth. Like I said, all the years I was in law enforcement, generally all the crime was connected to drinking and drugs to some extent. It still is. We also see a lot of shootings in Oceanside, like Mr. Berry said. It seems to be with youth, and they were gang-related youth. I don't know if any city's come up with the answer for that either. It's not like we gave up, as if no other city knows a solution. Some of it is the laws and the ability to enforce it. I think this is a good topic to talk about, and it should be. I kind of know where it's going to before we even vote on it, but with that, I thought it was a good thing that we addressed for the neighborhood safety and the community as a whole. I think when we get down to the nitty-gritty of how we would fan this out to a community near parks, churches, and other events, that's the part that maybe needs to be addressed later on. And I think I praise her for saying this is not a waste of time, as was mentioned. It was trying to concern herself about public safety in our youth and the communities, and in particular, her neighborhood, just like all you would take place if it was your neighborhood that you wanted out there. So that's a little short speech to waste your time, but then a closing speech comes from a person that put the item there, Councilmember Sanchez. It's all yours, and I think you know where it's going.
Yes, well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I do want to say that I was approached by the community, East Side neighbors, Crown Heights neighbors, Joan Brown from OCNA. Everybody was shocked that this was happening. Not so much Walmart. I think that we kind of shouldn't have focused on that as much as the fact that there would be sale of alcohol, this like large-scale sale of alcoholic beverages across the street from a high school, which we have not had for many years, and it has been good for us. So I don't know why this was misinterpreted as being over-encompassing. I actually had a chance to speak with the city attorney's office to make sure that what I was doing was being as narrowly focused as possible, narrowly so that we can only address the immediate problem. We had a chance to meet with the chief and also Captain Agigi, and we actually were able to talk about increasing the number of conditions that, and I'm really glad to hear that some of them are going to be, are included, because we were trying to figure out how the heck we can stop this from happening. Peer pressure, I mean, what can I say? In my own neighborhood, my experience, alcoholism was rampant. I couldn't even go to the park because the winos were all hanging out. Winos, whatever. It is still a problem. And I know we're focusing on this neighborhood because this particular store is going to, I'm sure that they came in here looking at the market and saying, oh yeah, this is a community that we're going to be selling to. But alcoholism crosses socioeconomic lines. I can't tell you how many people I have met, be they rich or poor, middle class. This is a very, very difficult problem that we have to deal with in this community. And and for me, the focus for me is our kids. When you become an adult, okay, you've got your own, you make that decision. If you're going to be an alcoholic and you're going to ruin your life that way, I guess, you're going to make that's your choice. But kids, that's different. The peer pressure of going into or being told, you got to do this, go into the store, or you got to do this, you got to drink this in one shot, this can of beer. We've all been young. We've all been there. I'm not a guy, so I don't have a lot more stories to remember, but I am, I've been around it, and I know what the problems are, and things have not really changed that much. What I do want to say is that, and thank you, Councilmember Feller, for mentioning notification. I did speak to the city manager, that was Mr. Weiss, last week, about, okay, knowing that we were noticed by ABC through the planning department and the city clerk's office and the police department, is there a way for this notification to go to the council at the very least? And Mr. Weiss told me that because he didn't know, he was completely unaware that there was alcohol sales being done there, or that that the city was being notified at all, along with Mr. Mullen. He didn't know either. And so what Mr. Weiss told me was, if we are receiving notification via one of our departments, like the planning department, yes, it is a very easy thing for us to send that notice up to the city council. So I assume that that's going to be done. So I'm going to be asking our new city manager because I don't know what, going from one city manager to another, some things will probably not be followed up. So I'm asking Mr. Jepson, is this something that you'll be following up? Oh, Peter.
I hope I've pushed the right buttons. I guess I have. Welcome, Peter. My experience has been a little different in that I'm used to notifying all council members when a liquor license is requested. And I certainly would recommend that we make that a practice here. That you have a heads up when that comes in, appropriate staff, manager's office, city attorney's office, and the council. So if there's any questions, that we can address those in a timely manner.
So, Peter, Mr. Weiss is here. I know, Peter, we had a conversation about you not even knowing or having been notified, even from the planning department. Were you able to determine that, yes, in fact, because you were going to determine that?
And Mayor, council members, yes, we do get noticed, and the clerk's office has already taken the initiative. Any new filings for ABC licenses are going to be forwarded through the entire council from the clerk's office.
That is correct.
Okay, so it's going to be, the burden is going to be on the city clerk. It's not going to be the planning department?
The clerk gets the initial notice, so they will be forwarding.
Okay.
Yes, we will be forwarding it to all the council members as soon as it comes to our office.
Fantastic. Because I understand that you were forwarding them to, or the office traditionally has forwarded them to
Planning department.
Planning, and then to
Police department.
Oh, so it gets forwarded from the city clerk's office to the police department? Because I was told by Melinda Ryan from ABC, who's the manager there, or the director there, that she sent out 3 notices, one to planning, one to the police department, and one to the city clerk's office. So...
Yes, that is correct. So it goes to those 3 departments from the ABC.
Okay.
And then when we receive it here in the city clerk's department, we'll be sure to forward it to the city council.
Because the city manager has, city manager's office has authority over the planning department and the police department, but the city clerk's office is a separate,
that is correct.
In a way, it's quasi-separate, whatever,
yes.
It's its own office. So, I would like to make sure that within our city manager's office, that we also are notified, or that it's made sure that we get that notification. Yes? Okay. Well, having said all that, I think that this is something that the community got together and said this is at the very least, and I think, Erica, you mentioned this is a first step towards ensuring that the public at large knows when things like this come into a community, so they have a chance to protest it, go to ABC, go to the city council, whatever. And so I still feel that this is, as narrowly tailored as it was, is something that is good for Oceanside, and I would urge a yes vote. Thank you.
Please vote.
I'd say children, get your parents involved too.
Motion fails. 2-3, Kern, Feline, and Feller, no.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, if you would, have I covered everything except closing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, thank you for your input being here. We're going to have a moment of silence from some recommendations, if you don't mind, from Councilman Feller. Well, go ahead and put it in the mic if you want. And I thought there were 2. I thought there were 2. One more silence for that, and then we'll adjourn to Wednesday, December 4th at 2 p.m. at this location. A moment of silence for this young lady. Thank you, please. Thank you all. Be safe and have a good holiday season. See you at the turkey trot. Okay, you want my discount thing to the massage? Huh? Oh, gosh.
Sorry, Luigi. I'll close it up right now. That's good. Yeah, I'm going to save it real quickly. All right, we are good. Stop.